In this video, we are answering the top 5 questions I get most often on this channel, so be sure to stay tuned for that. What's up, everybody? It's Cassandra Lopez with the Living in Bremerton channel. If you're new to the channel, you're going to want to go ahead and subscribe. This channel is all about living in Bremerton. So whether you are transferring here or relocating for the first time, or maybe you've lived here for 10 years and you just want to know more about what Bremerton has to offer, be sure to subscribe, tap that little bell so you're notified, and you can call me directly. This is my cell phone. Feel free to call or text, or my email address, however you want to reach out to me. Let me know how I can support your relocation in Bremerton. All right, top 5 questions that I get most often. So question number 1 that I get all the time is, where is Bremerton? Which, fair question, right? I had never heard of Bremerton before I received orders to here when I was in the military. I had been a transplant from California. I had traveled all over already with the military. I was in various states and all these things. And so when I received orders to Bremerton, I knew it was in Washington, and I was excited to go to Washington because it was on the West Coast, but I really had no idea where Bremerton is. So Bremerton is on the Kitsap Peninsula, which is just a little jut off of the larger Olympic Peninsula. So if you're looking at a map and you have that little waterway that comes down on the western side, that little waterway that comes down into Washington State is called the Puget Sound. Bremerton is on the west side of the Puget Sound, directly 12 miles west of Seattle. So if you know where Seattle is and you just look 12 miles due west, there's Bremerton, a little town. It's a ferry ride from Seattle. So if you want to hop the ferry and go check out a sporting event or a concert or Pike's Market or something, then that's awesome. You can do that, make a day trip and come back. And it's really kind of nice because it's close enough to the big city, but far enough away that you don't have to be in the big city. And it's just a great, nice little green community. Question number 2 that I get most often is Bremerton a good place to live? Well, I suppose that is subjective, but I'll give you my best answer because I live here and I love it. So if you like outdoor events, waterfront living, farmers markets, mild weather, proximity to everywhere, then I think you'll like it here. It's a great place, it's fun, it's a small town. So, you know, not a super small town, like 3,000 people small town. It's not like that. It's not like where everybody knows everybody, but it's small enough that it's not like big city crazy town. But if you like that big city living and you like really hot, dry weather, then it might take some getting used to acclimate to our environment and our community. Question number 3 that I get pretty often is, what is Bremerton known for? So if you're not from here and you don't know the history, valid question, right? So Bremerton has a history rich in the armed forces. So if you are here because of the military, if you're transferring, then obviously you know a little bit about that history, right? But there's a lot to always check out around town. We built our town around the Navy history that we have here. So there's the Puget Sound Navy Museum, which is in downtown Bremerton. It's actually right next to the ferry terminal in Bremerton. There is the Undersea Warfare Museum in Keyport, which is Naval Base Kitsap, Keyport. And you don't need base access to go visit that. It's like you're going to go on base and then you just take a quick left before you go through the gate. So it's open to the public. They actually have events there during the summertime for the kiddos, like little activities to do, and you can sign them up for classes and everything. So if you have school-age kids who need something to do during the summertime, that would be a great option for you. There is also the USS Turner Joy, which is a Vietnam-era ship turned museum ship. So it was an actual ship, an actual service in the Vietnam era. And it is moored right here in the Bremerton Marina, and you can buy a ticket and tour it. And everything on board has been maintained and preserved to reflect accuracy when it was actually in service. And so they didn't update anything. They just keep it clean and they just keep everything kind of as is. So you can experience it as if the ship was actually in service. Another question I get pretty frequently is, what cities are near Bremerton? So having not heard of Bremerton before, or maybe just heard of it, but unfamiliar where it is geographically, we are 12 miles due west of Seattle. So just hop a ferry and it goes around a couple of turns and then you're there. And we are about 30 to 40 miles north of Tacoma, which is a small city, population less than 250,000, so they consider that a small city. So if you want to go to Point Defiance Park and Zoo and Aquarium, then you would be going to Tacoma. Tacoma also has a really, really large mall, so if you wanted to go to the Tacoma Mall, that's where you would go. If you live and work near Joint Base Lewis-McChord, that would be Tacoma as well, so that's where you would be. So Bremerton is, like I like to say, close enough to be close and far enough to be far. So we're very close to these larger towns and these larger metropolis feeling areas without having to really be considered to be in that, big city environment. And the fifth most common question, and this one's debatable as whether it's the fifth most common or the most common, which is Bremerton a safe place to live? I get this question a lot because if you're just looking at the black and white stats and you've never been here and lived here and experienced life here, it may look like Bremerton is not a safe place to live. Bremerton geographically is pretty large. It's got a relatively large population, around 43,000 people. And the thing with crime and crime stats and the headlines and all those things is that if that's what you're looking for, then of course you're going to find it. If you are looking for all the bad stuff, then that's what's going to be available to you. If you also look for the good stuff, then you'll find that too. I've lived here for 22 years. I've never personally been a victim of any kind of crime, but I think you're hanging out with the wrong people and the wrong places in the wrong areas and that sort of thing and doing the wrong things. And of course, you're going to be exposed to more crime than if not. You are looking anywhere in the United States or the world for that matter. Anywhere you're looking is going to have a crime stat. So just take that with a grain of salt, come here and experience it for yourself. And then you can make the call on your own personal level, whether you think your specific area needs an upgrade, or maybe you need to find a different area or something like that. Or maybe you find that you absolutely love where you landed and everything is going to be great. So if you like that video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up, tap that little bell so you are notified every time I drop a new video. Be a gem and share with a friend. Let me know if there's anything I can do to support your relocation to Bremerton. Bye for now.